Okay, this is, I guess you could say, part 2 to a video I made a while back on mixed relations. This is something I've got very strong views on. And most of the comments on that, I'm pleased to say, were positive. That was people supporting my logic on this. I am absolutely 100% in support of the idea that people have the right to be with whomever they want, provided that both people are adults, both people are consenting, and both people are not cheating on someone else. Those three disclaimers, well, adults, I think, obviously people develop mature sense of forming a relationship later on, so I think being an adult is more, people are more in control of their own decisions. Consenting, well, that goes without saying. People have to want the relationship, otherwise it would be harassment. And not cheating on anyone. I think, call me old-fashioned, but I think cheating is wrong, full stop. I think if someone's in an abusive relationship, it might be different, but if you're just cheating on someone, that's different. And I would have nothing to do with any woman who already had a boyfriend or husband, unless it was a case that she was clearly being badly abused by that man, in which case it would be different. But if it was a case that we would just liked each other and she was already, I wouldn't do that. I would persuade her maybe to think about it and maybe to end it, but I wouldn't act on it until she broke up. So those are the three disclaimers. But other than that, I think nobody has a right to dictate to others who they can and can't be with. And I really have very little patience for people who try to make excuses for this. And I've just had a heated row with one guy from, I believe he was from Taiwan, I don't know, but I was pointing out that his position was racist and he was insisting it wasn't. But then he started talking about racial purity and how people have a right not to, well, what he was saying was that being against mixed relations isn't racist. Now, I really lost my temper with this, because then he started talking about racial purity and so on. That, of course, that is a racist position. Of course it is a position based on animosity. He claimed it wasn't. This is the bottom line. It is nobody's damn business but the people concerned. It's as simple as that. If I can understand, for example, if a guy, his girlfriend has went off with another man, and that would be different. But when it's not that situation, when it's simply two adult people in a relationship, minding their own business and trying to get on with it, loving each other, etc., it is no one else's business. Now, I'm not naive. I understand that there is legitimate debate to be had about practical problems that do arise from mixed relations. So if I date a girl from another country, another culture, there is going to be some cultural differences. And I've no problem with people discussing those issues and saying, look, this isn't done in this country, that there might be cultural clashes. That's not racist, that is common sense. It is a practical problem. And certainly when I've been in mixed relationships, occasionally that was an issue, because there was different ways of thinking and so on. But the actual principle of people being with someone from another country or another ethnic group, I really don't think it is anyone else's business. Perhaps it's because a lot of societies don't quite have the homogeneous nature, or sorry, the diverse nature, I should say, of Western countries. So in the West it's no longer a particularly taboo thing, but in a country like Taiwan or maybe South Korea, it's still quite a big thing. Now, in my opinion, that is a racist attitude. Whatever excuses I make, I regard it as a racist attitude. And those countries are going to have to get themselves into the 21st century and realise that this is a multi-diverse world. And even those societies are starting to become that way. Now, you might oppose multiculturalism, and that's fine. I think there's lots of legitimate arguments to be made about it. But I really lose. To me, opposing mixed relations is a bit like saying that, basically being homophobic and saying that gay people have no right to be together. This is mixed relations I'm talking about. I'm not even talking about mixed marriage. I'm talking about mixed relations. I support mixed marriage as well, but these people even have an issue with, say for example, a white guy and an Asian woman, or a black woman and a white man, or a black man and an Asian woman having a relationship. Now, what I do find curious is they don't seem to hold the same standards with an Asian guy and a white woman. By the way, I've got no problem with that at all. I wish any other, I say other, I'm single at the moment, but I have been in mixed relations, and I really lose patience with people who try to make excuses for this. The bottom line is, if you talk about racial purity, that by definition is racist. There's no way to gloss it over. That is racist. If you're talking about practical problems for culture, okay, that's understandable. I can understand that, and I think it's a legitimate point to be made. But I cannot tolerate people who talk about ideas of racial purity, then get all defensive and say, "Oh, I'm not a racist." It is racist. Of course, it's racist. I mean, up until the 1960s, as far as I understand, mixed marriages were banned in the United States between black and white people, and yet that was one of the most obviously racist systems around. No one disputes that. So why is it any different today from people looking down on others for being in a mixed relationship? And I would take issue with anybody, whether it be other white people or Asian people or anybody, that judges me because of my choice to be whoever I want, so long as I'm not with a child, which would make me a paedophile, or with someone who already has a boyfriend or husband, then as far as I'm concerned, my actions are hurting nobody. And it is none of your damn business. So, when I upload this video, I'm frankly not going to put up with bullshit comments that try to justify that sort of racism. I have tried to be, on my channel, I've tried to allow dissenting views, and I have. On most of my videos, I have kept the comment section open, and I have allowed alternative views. But I don't see why I should give a platform to the very people whose attitude I think is a huge problem. I don't see why I should give them a platform. In my YouTube channel, I am not working as an absolute democracy. So if I don't want to give someone a platform, it's my channel, that's my right. And I don't see why I should allow you to have a view that holds hostile attitudes towards people in my position. If I was a gay man, would I allow homophobes on my channel? Probably not. So as far as I'm concerned, it's the same principle. You look down on me, why the hell should I let you have an opinion? Go and make that opinion somewhere where they allow that sort of bullshit. I'm not a world leader. I don't have to allow free speech on my channel. I allow it because generally speaking, I believe it is important. And generally speaking, I don't, you check it out. Check out my channel. I allow many opinions that are different from my own. But I just don't see why I should give a platform to people who have this sort of attitude. And it really pisses me off. Okay, it might also be a generational issue, which still frustrates me, but what I really can't stand is when it's young people of my generation that hold these views. There's no excuses for that. Older people I'm a little bit more flexible about. I still don't agree with it, but okay, that might be their generation had that sort of mentality and it was just normal for their time. But young people living in a unipolar world, no. Sorry, I should say multipolar word. Well, when I'm pissed off, my vocabulary gets all messed up because I'm so. Anyway, the bottom line is this. This is my opinion. If you have a problem with mixed relations, as far as I'm concerned, that is a racist position. Why? Several reasons. Number one, because that comes into the concept of so-called racial purity. Now, why is racial purity necessary? Why is it such a big thing? Unless you have a racist attitude. Because you obviously believe in racial supremacy. So, white people who oppose mixed marriages, as far as I'm concerned, are white supremacists. Asians who oppose it are Asian supremacists, and so on. It's a very definition of... And this is why mixed race children face so much discrimination. Because of racist idiots who have a problem with this. I really, really have very little patience for people who take that attitude. It is not hurting you. That is the bottom line. It's not hurting you. It's not like these white guys are coming in and stealing your women, because most white guys I know who have Asian wives or girlfriends, that's a consensual relationship. It's not like they have stolen someone else's partner, which is different. I would not blame any man for being angry in that situation. If someone cheated on with my girlfriend, I'd be furious. But why it has to be a racial issue? Because those sort of things, by the way, can happen in the same race anyway. In other words, there's no shortage of examples of black guys cheating on black women who are with another black man, and etc. Why? Again, it comes down to people have this outlook whereby, look, the way I see it is, if I'm attracted to a woman and attracted to a woman, there might be a trend. Maybe I like Asian women, but I'm open-minded. I've come across plenty of white women and black women and women from all cultures for that matter who I've been attracted to. I just happen that there happens to be a trend that I like Asian women, and I don't think I should have to make excuses for that or condone myself or anything like that. It's no one else's damn business. It really bothers me. So, if you support this idea of mixed relations, you're welcome to comment in this video. And if you don't, frankly, I don't see why I should give you a platform. You can accuse me of being not open to other opinions. Well, check out my videos. Most of them I do allow other opinions, but I don't see why I should give a platform to bigotry and racism. Why? Because there's plenty of other videos out there where you can spout your crap. I'm not going to tolerate it here.